I think that the higher education is the most disgraceful example on the record. I know of no governmental program that seems to me is so unfair and disgraceful in imposing costs on low-income people to benefit high-income people. We in the upper and middle-income classes have conned the poor in this country to supporting our children in going through college and university, and we scream to the treetops about how disinterested and how public-spirited we are. We ought to have a system under which everybody who wants to go to college can go there. He has to pay his own way, either now or later on. And the schemes I have in mind, if we developed it more fully, and as I have in other contexts and other areas, are along the line of the Educational Opportunity Bank that Professor Zacharias of MIT and a commission appointed by President Johnson came up with as a way of enabling students to finance their own higher education without facing the problem you raised of ending up with a large dollar debt.
I do think that,
Dr. Henry.
With some trepidation with the professor, I raised the question of taxation. That is that I agree that we need better loan systems than we have. But as I understand the American tax system in general, as a generality, it is a graduated system.
Absolutely.
It is an equalizing
Absolutely.
system. And to reach the conclusion
No,
that
it is not. It's on paper, but you got to look at the facts.
Point. Yeah.
Well, what I'm trying, it is a system which the wealthier get, or the middle class gets taxed more than somebody who's making a lesser salary. To say then that the poor are funding
That's true.
public higher education, where middle class youngsters, and by the way, a lot of poor youngsters go as well, it doesn't fit with my understanding, at least, of the tax system. Now, I'm not an economist, I admit it.
Well, it turns out that there have been some very careful studies made of exactly what you're describing. There's one particularly careful one for California.
Right.
There's one for Florida. These show, it's not a minor item, that if you take the total receipts from expenditures on higher education going to the lower classes and the total taxes they pay that are used for higher education, the lower classes are paying more than they're getting, and the higher classes are getting more than they are paying for.